Okay, fellow YouTubers. So for about a little over a year, I've put videos up on YouTube in regards to my car, which is an '08 Pontiac Grand Prix 3800 V6. I've been doing this thing where it's kind of like this back and forth motion. And I just recently put one up where occasionally it won't start on the first try until you give it some gas.
Like she sputters.
Well, on these videos, I read all the comments when I can. A lot of people, including myself, thought maybe the transmission was going bad as far as the whole back and forth motion, and then just recently, the whole starting thing. People, tune up, clean the throttle body, stuff like that. It does need a tune-up. I know that it needs new plugs and wires. I can't do that yet. However, somebody commented on the one video and said that it could be the mass airflow sensor, and I never really thought about that, because when I think of a mass airflow sensor going bad, I had a car with a bad airflow sensor, and it didn't really do this thing here, but it would have a sudden power thrust out of nowhere, or it would stall all the time, and I had to replace the sensor, and it was $140 at the time. But I found out you can clean these things, and this person said, clean the mass airflow sensor, and it's probably going to fix the problem. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Now, I already took it apart. I'll show you exactly where it goes. Again, this is the 3800 Series 3 V6 we're working with. You can clean the airflow sensor, I guess, on any car using the same technique, but this is the sensor right here from this car. Sometimes, depending on what kind of car you have, they might be mounted onto the throttle body, or in this case, this is placed in between the air filter and the air intake tube. It wasn't too difficult to take off. As you can see, the wiring harness here, you just unplug that. Here's the harness right there. You take that off. There are two bolts that are at the top and the bottom, and then you just undo this this clamp here, and it pulled right out. And as you can see, the sensor is built in, and there it is. It does look kind of dusty on the inside. You don't want to touch those. They're very sensitive to grease from your fingers and whatnot. So you buy this mass airflow cleaner, which I purchased. It was about $9 bucks. Some people said you can use electronics cleaner. Some people said you can use rubbing alcohol. I've heard negative things about both, so I wasn't going to take a chance. I bought the real thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and spray it down on the inside a few times, and then going to wait for it to dry for a while and put it back in. And then I'll drive the car around for a while today, and I'll update on if that's cured the problem or not. While I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and change the air filter. This is the air filter that was in it. It's a little over 2 years old. I bought a brand new air filter, so we'll put that in there as well. Okay, I went ahead and sprayed it down. I wiped down the outside. That stuff, as you can see, it dries instantly. The cardboard isn't even wet anymore, and I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of this stuff, is it's not supposed to leave any residue on the actual contact sensors. So I'm gonna let that sit there for a few more minutes. And just so you know, this is what a dirty air filter looks like compared to a clean air filter. So it's probably a good thing to change your air filter when you clean your mass airflow sensor. Alright, so this is it put back together. Like I said, you first want to remove this harness here. To take off this wiring harness, place like a flathead screwdriver into here, and what you have to do is you have to lift up on that tab there and then pull this gray thing out in order to get this whole thing off. So that's what you gotta do for that. And then there's this here, and then there's one, like I said, exactly like it on the bottom side of it. Can't really see it, but yeah, it's on the bottom side. I used a socket to get that off. 1332s. That worked for me. And then just unscrew this, and then you gotta wiggle it out. You have to wiggle even harder to get back in, and then just redo the steps to get the air filter out on the Grand Prix. It's just these two tabs here, and then you pull that door out right there. So it's back together, and now I'll go ahead and drive it for the rest of the day and let you guys know what happens. So far, the car seems to feel a little bit better. It didn't do the whole back and forth thing. I did have one occurrence though where it did not start first try. That I'm assuming may just end up being the actual spark plug issue. So I'm driving over to a road where there's a hill, because that's usually when it does it, and want to try to get up to about 35 and then kick in a little bit of acceleration. See how well it cooperates. One thing I also noticed is by cleaning that sensor, the car doesn't feel like it hesitates to go, because sometimes it would feel like it hesitates. It feels like it's working a lot stronger now. It's still doing it a little bit. So I'm gonna say the mass airflow sensor was not the final solution to this problem, unfortunately. No, it's still doing it. Okay, well, yesterday's attempt to solve the problem failed by cleaning the mass airflow sensor, hoping that it would correct my problem with my whole back and forth thing. I decided to take it a step further today and went ahead and cleaned the actual throttle body. And might I add, yes, it needed cleaned. So this is what we've got going on right now. Sorry for the lighting. I still have it. I haven't assembled it yet, but I did clean it the best I could. This is the 3800 Series 3 V6, so the Series 3 has an electronic throttle body, which is also known as drive-by-wire. It's a very delicate system. You want to be very careful. The only reason why I really didn't take it off was because, well, I guess you have to replace a gasket when you're putting it back on, and you have to order it, I guess, and I wasn't gonna wait. You can do it like this. You're just not going to maybe clean it out as good as you would if you actually had the whole thing removed. So it's been minutes now, and I tried to do what I can. There's still some spots in there that I tried to get around the sides. I used actual throttle body cleaner. It said that this was safe for coated throttle bodies, because some throttle bodies do have a coating on the inside that's supposed to help, maybe not eliminate, but tries to keep off all the carbon and oil buildup. But this stuff said it was safe. I put a rag down here to catch the runoff, also to try and block the mass airflow sensor, which I said I cleaned yesterday. You don't want to use anything harsh on here. When cleaning the electronic throttle body, you definitely want to make sure that you disconnect the wiring harness. You want no power to this whatsoever. That could be bad. So I had another rag. This is actually a really soft t-shirt that I was using, and I was carefully with my finger, you know, pushing up and opening the butterfly, and you can't really see it, but the other side I scrubbed as best as I could with a toothbrush, which is what the guy at the parts store said would be best to use, because a toothbrush is not hard nor too soft. You don't want to use anything metal inside of that. You don't want to scratch it up. And then, like I said, I carefully held it open with one hand, scrubbed the back of the butterfly with the other. There was a lot of carbon on there. It took me quite a few tries to get it all off. You can see the toothbrush is practically stained. And yeah, so then I tried to wipe it all off with this as well. You know, around the sides and everything. So I'm just really waiting for it to dry. Now, being that this car does have an electronic throttle body, some things that I read online said that there's probably going to be a check engine light is probably going to come on after reassembling this, because there might be a possibility that the computer needs to relearn the correct idle speed of the engine. So I know when I start it up it's going to run terribly for a few minutes maybe. You want to give it a few revs to kind of clear out the rest of the cleaner that may have gotten to the intake. But it said it may need to relearn the correct idle. In some cases it could do it by itself, so I don't know what to expect. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble it here in a few minutes, and hopefully we don't have that issue. So on the Grand Prix anyway, this was the only thing that I took off, which was the air intake tube that runs from the mass airflow sensor, as seen yesterday, to the actual throttle body. So I'm just going to reattach that in a few minutes. I'm going to redo the wiring harness to the throttle body as well, and then we're going to go ahead and see what happens. Hopefully good things happen. Okay, so again, you put this tube back on, you tie the two clamps together. Do not forget to put this vacuum hose back on here on the back side of this tube. It just pops right in there like that. And then the actual wiring harness to the throttle body. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, then you push it down and it locks it in place. And then there's this little white pin right here that you take out of the side, you push that back in there, and that'll lock it from coming back up. So she's all reassembled now. And let's hope for the best. So now we're going to go ahead and start it up. Now again, it's probably going to run really crappy for the first few minutes. We'll see how it idles. I hear the throttle moving. So I just want to make sure it's not sticking. And hopefully I didn't reset my oil life monitor. No. Alright, here goes. Nothing. Seems to be idling okay. Alright then. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I expected it to be a lot worse than that. Throttle doesn't seem to be sticking. Alright, I'll let it run for a few minutes and I'll go ahead and take it up the street, see what happens. Try to slow down a little bit. No? It feels a little bit better. It feels a lot stronger too. Go and get the overdrive. This car in front of me, I'm kind of worried about catching up to him. There we go, okay. Oh, I did it! It did it! It's usually after around 40 miles an hour anyway. Well, I'm going to say, again, that situation there is not fixed by any of the things that I cleaned. But it is accelerating faster, so I guess that's good. Okay, so in closing, we did not completely fix the problem. We cleaned the mass airflow sensor and we cleaned out the throttle body. The combination of the two, I must say, it actually may have helped a little bit, because when it actually did do it, it didn't seem to be as bad as it normally is. I'm gonna give it a few more days and see what happens. So that definitely helped it a little bit. The car accelerates a lot stronger now than it did. It doesn't hesitate to go, so that's good. By cleaning both of those, you're also supposed to save on your fuel usage. It's supposed to improve your MPGs, and it's something that should be done, I guess. Maybe not routinely, but every now and then. I know they say when you change your air filter, you should change or clean your mass airflow sensor as well. So there's still other things to consider. I still, again, have to get the tune-up, the plugs and the wires. I actually took the spark plug wires off of the coil pack to see if maybe any of the contacts were corroded, and they all looked fine. I don't know if maybe the contacts inside the coil pack may be getting corroded. I'll save that for another day. But the plugs and wires still need to be changed, so it could be that. There's also the possibility it could actually be the transmission solenoids, but I don't know. I can't rule that out completely, but it doesn't seem to be getting worse. But by doing this, it doesn't feel as bad as it has been either. So there could be other factors in there. I've tried the map sensor already, which is it measures the air pressure in the intake manifold, I believe. I actually had another sensor on there from another Grand Prix temporarily that a friend of mine had. It was still good, so we put it on there, and it didn't improve it at all. So my map sensor, I'm pretty sure, is just fine. I don't know if it could be maybe the crankshaft sensor, but I don't think any of the sensors are actually bad, because again, there's no check engine light or anything. I'm just thinking either something needs cleaned or the plugs and wires need changed. Even if the transmission solenoids went bad, I'm pretty sure you could get a check engine light. Maybe not all the time, but I'm sure it could happen. I've heard it happens. So there are definitely some upsides to doing this whole process, and again, if I find anything else out, or if I try anything new, I'll let you guys know, for all the people who have been wondering what the deal is, and all the people who have been asking me too if I found a solution, because their Grand Prix are doing the exact same thing. But I highly recommend, most definitely, cleaning the throttle body and the mass airflow sensors. Change your air filter as well. Like I said, I definitely feel like my car is running a little bit stronger, especially as far as acceleration, and it's not hesitating to go. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching this extremely long update video, and hopefully it's helped some of you guys out there who want to improve your performance a little bit, and also save your MPGs. That's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.